Morning everybody, it's Maniac 4 Bricks, and we got everything packed and ready for the road. Most of the chargers and things in here, a few other accessories here and there. There's a few things for small table to sell. We'll see how it goes. Monitor underneath, other display stuff in here, and let's roll. Wait. There we go, let's roll. Well, here we are. Time to get stuff in and set up my table. So here we have everything from my side of the table. I could work on a few more videos through here, like the one you're seeing now. Inception. Anywho, walking around the front, here's our whole setup. And already had a few people stopping by. Worked out pretty nicely. So basically, here's a lowdown of how I set things up. I had just enough room to extend a few cords over and plug in all the necessary electronics. I have one monitor for my YouTube videos, just a handful that I thought were worth showing, and some variety on my channel. We have the Sega Pico version of Lego Fun to Build, so people can test that out. I've already had a few people come through, and they enjoyed it. And they even did different mini games for it, and virtual building. So very cool there. Obvious sign, but very subtle reference to the book that brings this little display here. And then we have several of my mocks. So these are ones that I've also premiered at Philly Brick Fest more recently. And it also includes some that I've had for quite some time. Just nice little bits. I mean, it's Shock Culture Con. I thought pop culture stuff. This is pretty good. And the school bus was a nice throw-in. And I had just enough tape. I had to borrow a little bit of tape to get that sign working, but I'm glad it's all here. Tailgate's going well so far. A bunch of people enjoyed the things I had to offer. Actually, one or two were thinking I had these for sale, but nah, not quite. Not yet. But anywho, I'm just gonna walk around, see what else is at the convention. And I left a little note here. Hopefully people pay attention to that. Totally not gonna, you know, my finest security, of course. I forget the actual name, but it was the real Peter Griffin that was here before. I don't know what happened. Maybe he went to a different table. He's walking around. Never mind. Hello. What's that?
Yeah, see, right? Like,
got re-rendered. And he had already herniated a disc in his back, and now his neck is all messed up, so he's going to be out for like 26 months.
I don't know. I was just trying to help you out with your life.
I'm just looking at stuff.
Yeah. Hi, how are you?
Does he have any other functions?
And Nina's in.
Yeah. And do call specific voice commands. If you put it on the middle setting, and
Okay.
the right one, infrared, he'll follow the controller.
Oh, nice. That's pretty good for walking around with him. I assume he doesn't have a lighter feature, does he?
No, I wish.
Yeah. I'm sure that would cause a bunch of problems.
Yeah, especially with the little kids.
Yeah. Right now it's 4:27. The convention was supposed to end at 5. Everybody's been packing since like 4 o'clock. Maybe, actually some even left at 3:30. So it's time to get my stuff packed up. Not too bad on the packing situation. Now that's a pool. Look at that, all the facilities. I think that was running a little bit better when I was here earlier. Hey, what do you look at that? Everything fit back in the car, and it fit just about the same as before. I actually took this out from this. It worked a little bit better for spacing and everything. So the monitor that was hanging out here before is actually inside of the container, nice and safe. Close. And I had a few stuff in the front, not because I ran out of space, just because I felt like it was a better space to put it. A whole bunch of goodies here to talk about in just a bit. Let's do it. It's Maniac for Stacks at Smashburger Taste Stacks. Yes. French fries. Yeah. Berg. Custom kind of. Milkshake, vanilla, and live stream. Oh, there's it. And a live stream. So now that I got some food in me, let's talk about the convention, because it could have gone better. Way better. It would be nice to go back, but I don't see much that's gonna draw me back. You see, they informed me that I should be there by 9 a.m. so that when everybody comes in, everything will be set. So yeah, it makes sense. And they even mentioned like, oh, it's gonna be a big rush when everybody comes in. Yeah, there was no rush. If I saw 10 people that were attendees and not vendors at the convention, that was a lot. Like, it was that bad. Think Buffalo, but 1/10 the attendance. Like, very few people. Most of the time, it was just us vendors that were walking back and forth, seeing other people's tables, and trying to, you know, just strike up conversation. We were really bored. There's a lot of us that agreed that it's like, it could have gone way better. There should be more people, but there wasn't. Probably, you know, not worth the expense when it came to the tables. I mean, it cost me more for the table for one day here than it cost me for the registration for Philly Brickfest, which was over the course of 5 days. You know, before the hotel expenses and everything like that. Yeah, it was bad. But besides all of that, I did have a good time with at least walking around, getting to meet some new people in the New York area, and getting to learn about their trades and craft. There's actually a lot of interesting, like, art pieces that a lot of them did. It was really cool to just learn about them as people, and they did enjoy me there. When I came in to register for my table, they asked me for my name, and I said my full name. Then they asked me, okay, well, are you registered under a business or something? And I just used Maniac for Bricks. And then they were like, "Oh, you're the Lego guy. Oh, here's your table over here." So throughout most of the convention, I was the Lego guy. I was the only person that was centric about Lego. In fact, one of the few that actually talked about Lego or brought up Lego as a thing at their tables. A few other ones had it as like an art piece or a magnet or something that was in the style of Lego, but none of them actually had Lego for sale. And I wasn't really expecting to buy any Lego. I was rather just there to get a little bit more publicity there and try to, you know, push a little bit more about the Bizarre Lego book. I did have there the Fun to Build Lego game from the Sega Pico, which is a big part of the book. Like, it has a whole chapter and a part of another chapter about it. So I thought this was cool to fun. So I thought this was cool to bring and to share there. And actually it was a lot of fun. I was probably like the hit of my table, and it was fun for other people to come by and learn about that. So I am a chatterbox by trade. And I did have to warn people about that, but they were okay with it. They were very cool and nice. And there were a couple of kids that were there, mostly with their parents that were running the tables, but the kids got to walk around. There was, as you saw, a couple R2-D2s and B8s sort of there. Excuse me. There was a whole Star Wars section in the back of the convention room, whatever you want to call it. And it was all for charity, actually. They had a raffle that they were doing where all the proceeds went to one of the hospitals nearby, so that was pretty cool to learn about that. I didn't enter into the raffle, unfortunately. I just missed the timing for it, but it was still nice that they ran it as a thing to do there. There were a bunch of other people. It was just nice to talk to in between stuff. I didn't really grab lunch until now, which is why I had more of a bigger lunch, early dinner, whatever you want to call this sort of thing. But when I was talking with a bunch of the kids about the Fun to Build and other stuff that I do through YouTube, a few of them recognized me. One or two saw that I was mentioned on the Shot Culture Con page, and they thought that I was very well spoken. And I was like, thank you. That's high praise. So, it was also really cool that they enjoyed the Fun to Build game. I mean, this is a game that's over 20 years old and kind of dated in terms of graphics and everything, but still had a charm to it, the way it was played, that kids were coming back once or twice to the table to keep on playing it. So, they were really nice kids, and they behaved very well. They didn't, you know, disrupt all the other mocks that I had on display there or anything. And, you know, I decided, hey, they could each get a sig fig and maybe two other figures that I had with me. I had a handful that I was going to bring, but I wasn't sure if I was going to vend there. And I didn't really have enough space for it or have the proper means of exchange. I didn't know if people were going to pay more cash or credit card. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to make this a publicity thing. I'm not going to worry about the vending. Maybe I'll do that at another time or something. So anyways, I decided to hand them out a couple of figures that they could choose from. So that everyone got 3 of them. They had a little case to put them in so they could bring them back to their tables. They had fun with them. They were even mixing matching parts I saw once or twice. It was a lot of fun, and they really enjoyed the figures. They did keep calling my sig fig Emmett because of the head and hair combo, but I was okay with it. I tried to explain to them, because I'm, you know, wearing the same shirt as the figure, I'm supposed to be that figure. But they're okay. And no, you know, big deal there. So, I do want to give a whole bunch of shout outs for those nice people that I've met throughout the convention. You might have seen there were a lot of guest appearances there, and unfortunately I didn't really get a lot of talking to them or even pictures with them, so I'm sorry to report I don't have anything here to show for that. I did get to hear real Peter Griffin, or I forget exactly what he's called, but like a very realistic version of Peter Griffin. I got to see the guy walking around. I didn't get to talk with him, but I did get to hear him in other conversations. He was spot on for the impersonation. It was really good. There was a couple people from the Toxic Avenger that were having their own booth. Unfortunately, though, one of them couldn't make it because he passed away a few days ago. So they were actually trying to raise some of the funds for his funeral. And unfortunately, with not a lot of attendance, it didn't really turn out too well. But I'm sure that other vendors that were at that area were contributing to it as well. I I think you saw earlier in this video about the accordion playing with Mike Myers. That was hilarious. That was a great part of the thing. Just us having fun with each other. And yeah. So, a couple quick shout outs here because there were some really nice people that handed me some stuff, and I tried to get a few things out, you know, with the figures and, you know, business cards and things like that. But some really nice people that I met through this convention, which is honestly the best part about it. Like, for any convention, I consider the best part is the people that you meet and get to interact with. But also, because there was not much else going on with this convention, this was the thing I had to focus on, even though I am a bit socially awkward. So, nice to talk with them. So first up, we have Louis P, and he, maybe she? So first up, we have Louis P, and they are excellent, their whole family really, they are excellent with all different kinds of pop culture infused with, you know, art pieces. They had pillows, they had all different stuff. I think you might have even seen like 1 or 2 clips of just going around the booth of all kinds of stuff that they had there. And not only did I get a business card from them, they were even nice enough to get me this really cool Superman poster. I really like how this looks. Like, I've never seen it look like that before, and the way it's drawn, very dynamic, very, like, all the colors just work well here. I do love how this thing looks. A big thank you to them for that. And they're just too generous. They even throw in this pillow for Iron Man, Captain America, the Hulk. There's a little bit of Spider-Man on the top, Thor, and... Did I say Iron Man? Yeah, I did. Yeah, so that was really cool for them to bring in, and I'm really thankful for them for that. But not only that, they also, I believe it was them as well, that also did a bunch of photography, and we talked for a bit at my table. They had a lot of really cool stuff to share as far as their different photos, and even one of them had some contact info. Aquarian Photography, mentioned her by name, that was really kind, and she even let me have some of the really nice high quality photos that she took. I don't know exactly where these were taken, but you know, I was talking with her, and it was like a lot of sky photos, and it's like, you got me right, like, that's my alley. I love sky pictures and sunsets, the beach, yes. It was amazing. This one's probably my favorite, because this is the one, she was digging through the pile, and she's like, this is one I think you're gonna really like. And she was right. She read my mind. Boom. I love it. They're so cool. This is really well done. And, like, you can even see the little details on the side of it about the mall sign. It's really well done. I love the colors in this. That was really cool. So, hopefully I get to talk to her again relatively soon. There was also somebody else that I was encouraged to meet. Somebody that, like, left a business card at my table while I was walking around, and when I came back, I'm like, I might pay him a visit. So Elise, who does a bunch of illustrations, they've done, you know, even adding it onto other pieces of art, such as magnets or buttons and several other things. Really cool artwork. And this is something that I've seen every so often, like that style of it, but these were very unique. Like, I haven't seen like the subjects and colors that came together with everything in that way, so it's very cool to not only meet her, but also hook up with her for Instagram and other social media, so we could keep talking after the convention. There's another guy that stopped by my table that does a bunch of 3D printing related stuff and also robotics, so nice to meet Ninja Robot, who was really happy to see this stuff on my table. There was these really 2 nice ladies that I also met. We had a good conversation, and in between things, I was actually inspired to start commissions. I mean, it's still going to take some work as far as the business model of it, and I'll get more details later on, but it would still be a really cool thing, and they've definitely encouraged me on this, and to keep going at it with all the other endeavors that I have. But I do want to thank them from Paparazzi. They were, you know, they had really cool jewelry that was available, large table of it, and really cheap, but still, you know, like, really nicely placed and, like, nicely, you know, shaped and things like that. So, very well done there. There's also Charlie Fernandez from AM Studios that I met there. He was pretty nice. Oh, sorry, I forgot there was a picture in here before. Also Aquarian photography. But wow, that is a good one. Really, really like that. Again, sky photos are my thing. I mean, I like photos of a lot of stuff, but sky is a limit. I shouldn't say that. Cut that out. Just cut that out right now. There's also this really cool guy. Last thing I want to mention here. Somebody that I talked to, it was across the way from me, but we still had a lot of great conversation. We bonded about all kinds of 90s stuff and all different cartoons that we grew up with and things like that. And I'm really looking forward to seeing him again. But he runs the store Bit Happens, which is pretty cool. All kinds of stuff there. Like, I think I even showed you on the video. There was all these different things all throughout the table. You saw Tamagotchis, you saw Burger King Pokemon, there were perler beads, I think it was called, and really cool stuff. Like some of it, you know, handmade and looks very nice. Some of it were actual toys from that era and just, you know, presented very well. So thank you to all of those people. It was really nice to meet you all, and if you're watching this video, hey, thanks again for for checking me out. I really do appreciate it, because I didn't know exactly how this was gonna go, but it definitely made it a great part of the convention, is meeting all of you and getting to have some good conversation. So thank you for watching this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time with more videos.